I am in Dahi, Hezbollah's stronghold in Beirut's southern suburbs. The scale of destruction is overwhelming. The scenes feel apocalyptic.
Once home to around 500,000 people, this predominantly Shiite area is now largely deserted following Israeli evacuation orders and repeated strikes. Only a few residents return briefly, trying to salvage what remains of their homes and their lives.
Many here are reluctant to speak to us. We are accompanied by members of Hezbollah, and our ability to report freely is limited.
We have to leave immediately, as we've been told that Israel just conducted a warning strike over the area.
Smoke is rising from a building 2 streets away.
This is the aftermath of the warning strike. This usually means that an airstrike is coming shortly.
Soon after, another building struck. But just north of Beirut, things are different. This is Jounieh, a predominantly Christian neighborhood. Here, in contrast to Dahi, life feels almost normal.
We don't want war. No one does. Even people in the south don't want it. But it was imposed on us. We were living peacefully. We just want to enjoy life, to go out and to reject war. That, to us, is real resistance. We oppose both sides, and we challenge them simply by being here and choosing peace over conflict.
The contrasting scenes in Dahi and Jounieh stem from Israel's pattern of bombardment. Israel says its strikes in Lebanon are aimed at Hezbollah infrastructure, which means predominantly Shiite neighborhoods have borne the brunt of the attacks. More than 1 million people, most from Lebanon's Shiite communities, have been forced to flee. Close to the battered southern suburbs, families are sleeping in tents along the sidewalks. Among them, Samia and her mother.
Our life is a disaster. Why? We go check our homes, then receive evacuation orders and leave again. After the strike, we return and leave once more. May God help us.
The family has been sleeping on the streets since early March, when Hezbollah launched rockets on Israel, drawing the country into the Iran war.
4 of us sleep here, my husband, my children and I. These are our mattresses. And here is my kitchen, where I cook for the children.
Like many others, they rely on public toilets and depend on volunteers and NGOs to provide food and aid. But beneath this solidarity, sectarian tensions are rising. Amir fled his home in Dahi with his 3 children and 5 cats. Like many Shiites fleeing Hezbollah strongholds, he tells us he's facing mistrust and discrimination as he desperately seeks safety in other parts of the country.
What's most frustrating is when they ask where I'm from and how they react when I say I'm from the southern suburbs. It's disheartening to see this turn into a sectarian issue. Their fear is understandable, but at the same time we all belong to the same country and should be more united.
In Sahel Alma, north of Beirut, debris from an intercepted Iranian missile fell to the ground. Lebanese authorities say it is unclear who the missile was targeting or who intercepted it. The incident damaged property and caused panic. Many in this predominantly Christian district are critical of Hezbollah's role in the conflict and its alliance with the Iranian regime. Increasingly, frustration is being directed at displaced Shiites.
If they receive them, they're going to be in danger. So that's why it's creating a problem. Nobody wants them. If I have a place, I want to host them. But the problem is, in the building, they will never let me. They're going to put the pressure on me, what you are doing. So I'd rather not do it. It's sad, but this is what happened.
People are afraid to host.
Afraid, yeah, of course, they are afraid. There's nothing to hide. Everybody knows. And please, even if they are friends.
The incident at Sah al-Alma and strikes on areas once considered far from the conflict have challenged the assumption of what areas remain safe. Another one of these places is Hazmiye, a predominantly Christian area east of Beirut. Israel recently struck a number of buildings here, reportedly targeting a member of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps.
We are welcoming the displaced into our homes, and we are doing our best to facilitate their stay on the understanding that no one involved in the conflict is hiding among them, so that we can keep both our community and the displaced people safe.
Local authorities have introduced new measures to regulate displacement and tighten security checks. Yet many residents, particularly in predominantly Christian neighborhoods, remain skeptical and uneasy. The conflict is only deepening the division among the Lebanese.
Could we have avoided the war? Yes, we absolutely could have, had we been patriotic enough.
If we had all been on the same page.
If our decisions had truly been Lebanese.
If we hadn't been so divided.
Despite her displacement, Samia still supports Hezbollah.
If it weren't for them, wouldn't Israel be occupying Lebanon by now? They're defending Lebanon, not Iran. And even if they defend Iran, we stand with Iran. All Shiites are with Iran.
As the conflict tightens its grip and the turmoil in the country continues, the critical question remains: to what extent will this war further fracture Lebanese society along sectarian lines?
Well, thanks for updating us on that, Mohamad. But let's talk now about what you covered in your report. It highlights tensions in Lebanese society that are being exacerbated by the fighting between Hezbollah and Israel. How does the war in Iran factor into this?
Well, Hezbollah launched this confrontation with Israel primarily in retaliation to the killing of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, according to a statement, of course, by the group. And Israel has been striking Lebanon almost on a daily basis, despite a ceasefire agreement that both parties reached and went into effect on November 2024 after the months-long war between Israel and Hezbollah. But the militant group did not respond to Israel's attack until it did, following the killing of Ali Khamenei, dragging the country into this second round of confrontation with Israel. And this is the second war in less than 2 years. We have to remember that Hezbollah is backed and funded by Iran, and it's widely seen as Tehran's most powerful regional proxy. And it was impossible for Lebanon's government to distinct itself and distant itself from the Iran war, given Hezbollah's deep ties with the regime in Iran.
Now we have a ceasefire, very fragile, very young, between Iran on the one hand and the U.S. and Israel on the other. Could the ceasefire in Iran reduce some of the pressure on Lebanon? Could it lead to a truce between Israel and Hezbollah?
Truly, this has become the $1 million question in Lebanon. There's a significant confusion surrounding the ceasefire here in Beirut. On papers, we know that Lebanon is included in the 2-week ceasefire agreement, as stated by President Trump and the Pakistani Prime Minister. But in practice, Israel has intensified its strikes on Lebanon since last night, and it actually carried out the largest attack today in this conflict. So in reality, it's very unclear, the ceasefire situation and where Lebanon positions itself in this ceasefire. The reality is Lebanese officials were not part of the negotiations, and all the assumption that Lebanon is included in this ceasefire stems largely to the Iranian demand that it would be included. And apparently Trump did not object, but on the ground this is not the case. It appears I think that Israel is attempting to place Iran in a difficult position by insisting that Lebanon is excluded from this ceasefire. If Iran agrees to proceed with the ceasefire, it would mean it abandoned its Lebanon ally, like its Lebanon proxy. And if it rejects the ceasefire, then that would be suitable for Israel.
Mohamad, thank you very much. That was DW's Beirut Bureau Chief Mohamad Chreyteh.